Today we're going to look at our planet in a way that was honestly impossible for most of us until very recently. We're unlocking a whole universe of data that can show us everything from storms forming to cities growing to the health of our oceans. So let's dive in and see how it works. Okay, take a look at this. It's a cyclone, right? A massive, swirling engine of planetary power. But what if I told you this image holds secrets, that hidden inside those clouds are patterns of wind and energy we can actually see and measure now? The big question is, how?
Well, to answer that, we need a totally new view of Earth, one that goes way beyond just a pretty picture and actually taps into this deep, deep well of information that's being collected from high above our heads.
And the eyes giving us this incredible new view, they belong to the Indian Space Research Organization, or as you probably know it, ISRO. For decades, their satellites have been silently orbiting our planet, observing and recording the story of our changing world.
Now, the heart of this entire operation is a platform called Bhoonidhi, and I want you to think of it less like a website and more like a colossal digital library for planet Earth. It's this one single hub for pretty much all the Earth observation data ISRO has ever collected. And when I say all the data, that collection is, well, it's staggering. We are talking about a genuine treasure chest of information, built up over decades of just meticulous observation from space. In fact, one of the best ways to think about it is as a time machine for our planet. Seriously. With Bhoonidhi, you can literally scroll back through the years and watch how any corner of the Earth has changed, whether it's a sprawling city or a really remote forest.
And the sheer scale of this archive is just incredible. We've got data streams coming in from multiple satellite families. You've got the Cartosat series for mapping, the ResourceSat series for, well, natural resources, and Oceansat for our seas. Some of these records go back more than 20 years, and it's all curated in one accessible place.
And look, this is not something that just happened overnight. This is a legacy that started way back in 1999 with Oceansat-1. It's been a continuous, multi-decade effort, with every new mission adding richer, more detailed layers to this incredible planetary record.
But here's the crucial point. For the longest time, getting access to this treasure was complicated. Then, in 2023, a new policy changed everything. It effectively unlocked the entire archive for the world.
See, before this policy, if you wanted to get your hands on high-quality satellite data, you often had to navigate these complex procedures or pay significant costs. The Indian Space Policy 2023 basically just turned the key and threw the doors wide open.
And the new rules? They're refreshingly simple. Any data with a resolution of 5 meters or coarser is now totally free for everyone. All that specialized thematic data, the stuff showing vegetation or ocean chlorophyll, that's also free for everyone. It's really only the super high-resolution data that's reserved for government use or for commercial licensing. And that is the real game changer here. All of a sudden, students working on a project, researchers tracking climate change, and startups building new apps, they all have free access to a world-class data archive that honestly was way out of reach before.
So, with the doors now wide open, what can we actually do with all this data? This is where we go from just raw pixels to real-world purpose.
The key is to understand that we are looking at so much more than just a picture. A standard satellite image, yeah, it shows you what's there. But layered data, it shows you what's happening. It can reveal all the invisible forces at play, like wind speed, or even the biological activity deep in the ocean.
Let's make this real. On the left, you've got Cyclone Michong, a seriously powerful storm. Now look to the right. We've overlaid wind vector data from Bhoonidhi. That data shows both the speed and the direction of the wind. And just like that, you can see the engine of the storm, the direction, the intensity, it all comes to life. That is the power of this multi-layer visualization.
And the applications are just incredibly diverse. With data from satellites like Cartosat-4, we can zoom right in on urban areas with stunning clarity. It's absolutely perfect for city planning and development. Or we can step back and monitor the health of entire ecosystems. This here is an NDVI map. Now, those red and green colors aren't just colors, they're data. They're telling us exactly where vegetation is thriving and where it's struggling.
We can even use this technology to keep an eye on our critical infrastructure, like this power plant. The detail is so precise you can analyze individual components all from an orbit hundreds of kilometers up in the sky.
And really, this is just scratching the surface. This data is revolutionizing everything from agriculture and forestry to managing disasters, monitoring glaciers, and studying coastal erosion. The possibilities are, well, nearly endless.
This brings us back to that really crucial concept of thematic data. It's information that's been processed to highlight one specific thing. So instead of just seeing the color of the ocean, we can actually measure its chlorophyll content. Instead of just seeing land, we can measure its soil moisture. It turns these images into actionable intelligence.
What this all boils down to is that Bhoonidhi gives us something amazing. It's like having a search engine, but for the physical world. You can pick an area, choose a time frame, and filter for exactly the kind of data you need. It's incredible.
Which, of course, brings us to the most exciting part. With this whole archive now open to everyone, the real question is, what's next?
Because this isn't just about big government agencies or research institutions anymore. This entire universe of information, this whole new way of seeing and understanding our planet is now in your hands. It's a tool for creators, for problem solvers, for anyone who's curious.
So, the final question really isn't what this data can show us, it's what we'll choose to see. What patterns will you find? What problems will you solve? What will you discover?